Elle fait partie du premier trio d'agents libres à avoir signé avec l'équipe de Montréal dans la PWHL. Elle est aussi une attaquante qui a gagné les grands honneurs avec l'équipe canadienne. Ici Isabelle Etier et bienvenue sur le balado Femme, qu'elle, présenté par IGA. Je t'invite cette semaine dans l'univers de Laura Stacey. Laura Stacey, bienvenue sur le balado Femme, qu'elle.
Merci, I'm excited to be here.
Tellement contente. Tu es une des premières joueuses à avoir signé avec Montréal, donc avec Marie-Philippe Poulin et Anne-Renée Desbiens, dans cette nouvelle ligue professionnelle, donc l'équipe à Montréal. On va parler, bien entendu, de ton parcours, mais juste pour que les gens sachent, je vais te poser des questions en français, en anglais. Tu réponds comme tu le sens.
Perfect.
Perfect. Donc, Laura, tu as rejoint, tu as signé avec Montréal, comme je disais, tu as déjà joué, tu joues pour l'équipe nationale. Tu as commencé avec les moins de 18 ans en 2010. Tu as fait ton parcours à Dartmouth College. Tu es de la région de Toronto. Tu as été nommé Rookie of the Year pour ton équipe. Tu as été capitaine. Tu t'es brisé les 2 poignets durant et tu es revenu rapidement au jeu. Moi, ça m'impressionne quand je vois ça. Tu as fait partie de la PWHL, donc où est-ce que les Canadiennes jouaient. Toi, tu jouais contre elles. Tu as même remporté un championnat. Oui. Donc, tu as joint l'équipe nationale. Tu as remporté la médaille d'or, finalement, qu'on était bien contents. Et là, aujourd'hui, bien entendu, ton programme professionnel, on va parler hockey avec toi. Laura, I want you to tell me about how it all started. That was the path after, but how was your minor hockey? How did you start to play hockey?
Yeah, I think hockey's been obviously pretty big in my family ever since I was a little kid. But to be honest, my parents put me in a learn to skate figure skating class because that's what my sister was doing, and I hated it. I sat on the ice and cried. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to have the pick on my skates and the fancy outfit. I saw all the little boys going to play hockey, and I was like, why am I here? Why am I not playing hockey? And they were like, well, Laura, this is what your sister's doing, and you can't skate, so why would you play hockey if you can't skate? Like, learn that first. And I was so adamant that I just wanted to play hockey, not figure skating. So I somehow convinced them to let me go to the rink across the way with the boys, and they were right. You definitely need to know how to skate before you can play hockey. But
that's true.
I think because I loved it and I was having fun, I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn how to skate, and the rest is kind of history. I have played ever since. I fell in love with the game pretty early, and I played boys hockey pretty much until grade 8-ish growing up, and then they started getting a little bit bigger, faster. So I broke a couple bones, and that was an easier transition to be like, hey, it's time. And when I moved over, that's when kind of women's hockey, I feel like, was growing a little bit. So there were more teams, and that's when I started learning about the under-18 Team Ontario or the national team, or it opened my eyes to potentially going to college in the U.S. too, or in Canada, to play hockey. And I think that was really important to me, and that's kind of where my path led me and has taken me to today. So I'm pretty excited and pretty happy that I did get to go on that ice with the boys early on, because it's been a really big part of my life, and I'm glad I've played hockey ever since.
I heard an interview that you gave, and you said, never stop believing in your dream. How does today your dream is there? So how do you react on what you already said?
Yeah, I think, I don't know when that interview was, but I think I still would say that and live by that to this day. I think one of my favorite quotes to add on to that is, good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the tree. And it kind of goes hand in hand with that, in the sense of throughout your life, throughout your career, whatever it is, I think you're always going to kind of face those speed bumps, whether it's getting injured, whether it's getting cut. But if you end up going back to that dream that started you in the first place, or why you're playing hockey in the first place, I think it makes it pretty easy to get back up after each one of those setbacks. And I think that's kind of how I've lived by. And it's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy, or everybody would do it. And so the more you can kind of get up from all those little things and keep pushing forward, keep standing taller, I think it's a lot easier to achieve your dream in that way. And I think you're right. We are achieving that dream right now, getting to play pro hockey for the first time, in a sense. And so I think playing for the national team, playing pro, I think I couldn't be luckier and more honored. And I think I'm really happy that I kept getting up after each time I fell.
Ton arrière-grand-père a été intronisé au Temple de la Renommée, donc c'est King Clancy. Il a joué pour Toronto, pour Ottawa. Tu as choisi de porter son numéro, le numéro 7. Pourquoi?
Oui, numéro 7 est très important de moi et ma famille aussi. I never met my great-grandfather, but I think he was always around in our family stories. And I think there was times where I got away from number 7 because I was like, I want to do my own thing. But at the end of the day, I think he's left a huge legacy on me, on my family, and even in hockey. And so I think it's an honor, actually, to get to wear number 7 after him. Obviously, there's so many other great players that have worn it too. But to have someone in your family wear that number and leave that legacy, I think if I can have any impact on that number as well in our family, I think that would be a huge success. And I love wearing that number. It's grown on me. It's my whole life. People make fun of me about it. I wear it around my chest, but I think it's stuck with me, really, and it just brings me back to my family.
It's not only a lucky 7. It's a working 7.
100%.
And who was your favorite hockey player growing up?
Yeah, I think if you asked me that question right away, I think I would automatically revert to a male hockey player just because that's what I saw so much growing up. So I would say Gary Roberts. He was another number 7. He played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Big Leafs fan, I know. I'm in Montreal now. But he was obviously, he worked hard, played the game the right way. I loved watching him play. But I think for me to say Cassie Campbell would probably be one of my bigger inspirations or favorite female hockey player. I saw her in the 2002 Winter Olympics, and that was my first ever view on TV of women's hockey. And I think that moment, seeing her get that gold medal around her neck, I think I was like, there's something more for me that I want to keep playing. I want to be there one day. And I think that spark, seeing her, I think it's just a moment I'll never forget.
And we know now that she's part of the league. Yeah. She's an advisor. How did you receive this news?
I think it's huge news. I think every time we keep adding people to this group, adding people with knowledge who want to be there, who are passionate about the sport, I think it can only keep going uphill from here. And we're really lucky with where we're at right now. But there's tons of room to keep growing, to keep pushing the women's game and women's sports in general forward. And I think having her a part of it is another step in the right direction.
Yeah. It's a good addition.
100%.
Quelle est ta recette, a recipe when you were growing up, une recette d'enfance, que ça goûte la maison?
My parents both love to cook. They're great cooks. But to be honest, they worked a lot. They worked hard. And then me and my sister were off to every sporting event we could possibly be to after school. So to be honest, when you ask that, I think the first thing that pops in my head is just a chicken breast, a pile of rice, and some veggies. Just a classic meal. Because we had to get it down in time in order to go to the rink or go to the soccer field. And it was busy for them. And so for them to be able to get us to all these sports, I think that was that go-to recipe that we always had. Obviously now I don't want to go home and have asparagus and chicken breast all the time. So I think the menus have definitely kind of expanded and been a little bit more fun as of late when we go back and have big family meals. Turkey dinner is always a hit. But I think, to be honest, that go-to staple in our house was definitely a good asparagus, chicken breast, and rice kind of night on our way to hockey or soccer. And
now, what is your favorite meal?
Ooh, my favorite meal, probably a nice bowl of pasta, maybe penne alla vodka. Honestly, I'm a big food person, so I could say anything, but a nice homemade or a nice fancy bowl of pasta would make me happy.
Si tu fais changer une chose dans ton parcours, ça serait quoi?
That's tough. I think I would say just believing in yourself. I think, like I said about the dreaming and the getting up, I think at times it's easy to self-doubt yourself or not think you're ever going to make it, or I don't know, get close to giving up on that dream. But I think if there's one thing I could change is to realize that those are part of who you are. Those setbacks, those bumps, they actually make you stronger and better if you can learn from them versus doubting yourself all the time. And I think that's the one thing I would change for sure, is just being okay with those road bumps and not necessarily getting in your head or getting as frustrated. It's fair to do, but I think if I could do that a little less, I think who knows what could have happened earlier or how much more I could have enjoyed it along the way.
Because now we see you as a successful player. You're part of the national team. You're part of Montreal team. But it was not always easy to get through there.
No, it definitely was not easy. Sometimes I'm like, it's still not easy. When is it going to get easy? But I don't think you ever want it to be easy. I think that push, that grind, that always fighting to be better and to be more, I think that's who we are as athletes, as hockey players, and I think it's positive. I know there's a line, and at some point you have to be satisfied and enough, but I do think that the more we can push ourselves and find that not easy place, I think the better off we're all going to be.
And what nourish your passion?
I would say just my teammates, I would say. I think hockey's obviously a team sport. Most of the sports I played were team sports, but I think when times were tough or when times were great, I think coming to the rink and having that group of best friends right there for you. I know in college, like I think when you graduate, that's what you miss the most is you're now no longer just constantly surrounded by all your best friends in one spot. And I think having a team, getting to play with some of your best friends every single day, like here we're showing up at the rink, having breakfast, lunch, training together.
Living
it's
together.
Not too bad, right? Like, I honestly think that was a really big part of why I loved hockey so much. Is just the people I've met along the way and the family that it's created for me.
And now tell me, what is the thing you have to do, but you don't like to do?
Definitely laundry, putting away laundry. Like, I don't mind putting it in the machine, getting it all clean, but putting it away after is not enjoyable for sure.
Et si je te demandais, tu peux composer ton trio de rêve. Avec quelles deux autres joueuses ou joueurs aimerais-tu jouer?
Okay. I mean, I would like to play with Wayne Gretzky,
A good choice.
Cassie Campbell, and who else would I like to play with? Honestly, I'll just go with Kristen O'Neill. I think we've been having a lot of fun together lately. It's new. It's relatively new for us, but we've been finding a way to click and enjoy it. So, hey, take one from the current and a couple from the past and see how it could work out. But I've been having a lot of fun with it so far. So.
And we can see there's already a chemistry between the two of you.
Yeah, I think the more we've been sticking together, the more we're just knowing where each other are, and I think we're having fun with it. We're smiling off the ice, smiling on the ice, and I think the more we can keep connecting in both of those realms of our life, the better off it's going to be. And it's been great so far, and I'm looking forward to it here in Montreal.
I'm a tennis player, and I know that you love tennis, and this is something I always say to my partner. We have to connect. We have to dance together when we play because it's how we make it happen. You have to have this connection.
I completely agree. I think on all the most successful teams I've been on, it's you're right. They're the most connected. They get along. Right. They want to hang out off the ice. They want to go and dance, like you said. But I think you just get it, and you want to dive in front of a puck. You want to get it done for them. I think that's when it turns in from a team to a family.
Maintenant, tir de barrage, M. d'assurance, this or that. I ask you, and you explain me why you choose that.
Okay, cool.
Let's start with an easy one. Noël ou Halloween?
Noël, for sure.
Noël?
Yeah, I love it.
Noël.
I mean, Halloween's fun, but there's nothing like Christmas with your family and opening gifts, giving gifts. It's just a great time of year.
Okay, you talk about laundry, but how about washing or drying the dishes?
Washing the dishes for sure. At least you get to keep your hands warm in the water. Do you prefer a country home or a city condo? A country home, for
country
sure.
Home.
Yeah, I've lived in the city enough for sure as I was kind of graduating college, and I think now getting away, having more room, space, a backyard for the dog makes a big difference for sure.
Equity or equality?
Ooh, equity. I mean, honestly, both are extremely important, but I do think that it's a tough answer, but I think it is important that we don't have to be equal. We just it has to show some form of equity.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers it,
but yeah, it's exactly what I will respond. Est-ce qu'on t'appelle ou on te texte?
Maintenant, appel. I think I used to be a lot better of a texter. Now I'm kind of over the whole texting thing, and it's so much easier to get things done on the phone. So I would say a nice call is a lot better for me.
And the right answer.
Yeah.
No interpretation.
No, 100%. And no emojis, you know? I'm so bad with the whole emoji thing. It's like, are you angry? I'm like, no, I just wanted to get my message out, you know? Like, I'm not great.
OK. Poulain ou Campbell? That's
mean,
a tricky one.
I have to go with Poulain for sure.
It's your teammate. You have no choice.
You're right.
Okay, another one. Leaves or Habs?
You're going to get me in trouble here.
I know. I have to.
Yeah, I have to go with the Leafs. I do enjoy watching the Habs, and I think they're going to be really good pretty soon. And there's a lot of things that I like about the team, but I can't stray away from my my lifelong Toronto Maple Leafs love. You know?
There's legacy there.
Yeah.
OK, maintenant, place aux femmes. Donc, tu dis souvent que tu as commencé à rêver à devenir une joueuse, à pouvoir jouer au hockey en 2002. Tu en as parlé un peu rapidement à Salt Lake City. Comment te sens-tu aujourd'hui d'être une source d'inspiration pour les jeunes?
Yeah, I think that's, it's nice to hear that. I think that's our goal. I think me being able to see Cassie in the 2002 Olympic team, it sparked my dreams. And if I can give that to one girl today, I think that's a success. And I think the more we can do it, the more we can get our game out there, the more we can be seen. At the end of the day, the more girls that are going to also have that dream and also try and play hockey and pursue those goals. So I think that's why we've sat out. That's why we've tried to create this league. I think that's why it's so important to us is we didn't necessarily have that opportunity to go and see our role models, our heroes play on a regular basis. And so if we can give that to all the little girls in Montreal, in Toronto, in Boston, or all the cities that we travel to, then I think that's a huge success.
And I think it could inspire also boys. It's
100%.
not only girls.
Honestly,
it's for everyone.
Yeah, and now that you say that, like seeing little boys in our stands with signs and painted faces, like it's like this is the world we're in now. This is real. Like it's okay for a little boy to want to watch women's hockey or women's soccer, or I think that's how it should be. I've watched men's sports all my life.
Exactly.
And I think young boys can do the exact same.
Okay, you love kids. You'll get married soon. Maybe you're thinking having one of your own. Comment justement la convention que vous avez signée pour les joueuses, qui a justement une clause pour que vous puissiez être des joueuses maman, ça a un impact pour toi?
100%. I think I definitely want to have kids down the line when the time is right. But I think knowing that we've signed this contract that allows it now or helps you with it, I think it's huge. I think obviously that's a really big barrier to professional women's sports is the ability to have a family while also pursuing your dreams and chasing your passions. And so to potentially be able to do both at the same time, or to be able to know that you're going to be okay if you do choose to have a kid, I think it just gives us all a lot more confidence to have those family discussions, to have that idea in the back of our head of when is the time and now I can do it. So I think it's huge for women's sports. I think signing that CBA and having that a part of it was a really big part of our why and why we wanted to do this, so that the next generation knows that it's okay to have a family and still pursue your passion. And I think we haven't seen it that much lately in women's hockey or women's sports in general. But I think the more we can encourage that and show that it is okay, I think that's also a really big success and a really big part of what we're doing here.
It's not only about the money, it's the condition.
100%.
Et bon, je pose la question à tout le monde. Qui est toi, la femme de hockey qui t'inspire?
I would probably say my sister in general is my femme de hockey. I know she didn't play that much hockey. She did. She wasn't amazing. She also didn't love it. But I think just she's always been my inspiration. I think she's 3 years older than me. She was super athletic, but also really smart and was so great at balancing every aspect of her life, whether it was her social life, athletic life, and her academics. And I think I had a lot to learn in terms of that and how I could do all those things to my best ability and not kind of only do one or miss out on the others. And I think I leaned on her, I looked up to her, and I think she's pushed me for sure in hockey and helped me get back up, like I said, after some of those falls, and has always encouraged me. So I think in terms of life, I would say my sister. And in terms of the hockey side of things, I do think that spark that I saw in Cassie in 2002 it definitely sparked me in my dream. So I think having those two role models, inspirations are one of the reasons I'm sitting here with you today.
And bon, I like also to talk about those, les enjeux pour les femmes dans le sport. Now we have this professional league, and there's in hockey, but there's also all the sport. There's an issue you would like to talk about now for women in sport in general?
Yeah, I think I do think getting fans in the stands is our
Right.
most important thing, and I think we've seen that a lot in women's soccer. I think they're doing an amazing job in the NWSL, even the WNBA.
Right.
I think those two sports and those two programs have really changed and helped us, and I think that would be what I would say is a huge thank you to them, because I think they pushed our league, our CBA, our decision making forward. And I think it just takes one. It just takes one person. It just takes
Right.
one group to make a huge difference. And I think that's what they've done for us. And I think now it's our turn to help push it even further. And I think we're really excited to see where this league goes, because I do think we're going to make a lot of change.
La passe sur la palette. Le hockey, c'est un jeu de passe. Quel a été, what was the moment in your life or a person that make a huge difference in your career?
I would say my college hockey coach definitely had a huge impact on me. I think college is just a time when you have a lot to learn. I think a lot about figuring out who you are, where you are, what you want in life. And I think he kind of taught me some life lessons that I think I still carry with me to this day. But he also kind of made me realize how bad I wanted to chase my dream, while still being kind of me inside. And I think that really opened my eyes to, like, hey, I can do this the right way if that's really what I want. And I can still be me. I can be the person that I want to be while still chasing that dream of hockey. So I think he would have a really big impact on who I am, but also where I'm at.
But I like the fact that you say to stay who you are, but pursuing a dream, sometimes you have to do some adjustment, but you don't want to change your inside.
Completely agree. And I think when things don't go well or you don't achieve it, I think a lot of times it's easy to be like, okay, I need to change who I am. I need to change the way I act, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think the more you can stick to who you are and use your strengths and grow and learn from your weaknesses, I think the better off you're going to be. So I think that was something that he really taught me is who are you and what do you want to be? And I think that kind of questioning or that answer allowed me to kind of still chase that dream while being me.
And I also heard you say when you play, sometimes you have a different role. Doesn't mean sometimes you're the best player on the team, and then you go with the national team and they give you another role, and you have to be very motivated and stay who you are. It's also another way to express what you're saying.
I agree, and it's not easy. I think being one of the best players on a team and then going to a team where you're not, and all of a sudden you're in a totally different role than you've been in before. It's not easy, but I think that's the best part. I think you get to learn again who you are and what you can bring to the table. And I think the more you appreciate yourself, the more you appreciate what you can bring to the team, and the more you appreciate the others on your team, I think the more successful you're going to be. And it takes time. I think I had to learn this. I had to learn it the hard way. I had to learn it all the different ways, in a sense. But I do think it's made me a better person and also a better hockey player, because you just are able to appreciate what you do more, but you're also able to appreciate your teammates a lot more. So I think there's a huge value in accepting, but also embracing all those different roles that you're in.
I've been watching you for the last couple of years, and when I learned and you signed with Montreal for those first contract, I was so happy because you were one of my first pick as well. We know Poulain, we know Anne-Renée Desbiens. Most of the people don't know you as well, but they're going to discover a fast, a very dedicated woman on the ice. And I feel like you have been so much improved and get that confidence the last past year during your path. It's incredible. I love to watch you playing hockey, and I hope then people will love to watch you play the way I like to watch you.
I appreciate that a lot, but I think it does take confidence. It does take, again, embracing what you bring to the table, and it's something that I've definitely been working on.
And now it's time to give a tape-to-tape pass to an organization. I know you started 4 years ago, that LS7's. Your mission is to bring kids to the sport. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I would love to give a pass to that charity.
For sure.
I created the LS7 Sticks In for Charity tournament after the 2018 Olympics. I think I came back from the Olympics. I was lost. We lost. It was a tough time kind of thing. And I didn't know where to go next. And I think it was actually on my birthday and my sister's husband's birthday. We just went outside and we started playing road hockey. And it ended up turning into this huge game. A bunch of people on our street, our neighbors kind of were like, hey, can I jump in? And it ended up being a big street game, and it was awesome. I was like, brings me back to my childhood when we would go outside and just play for hours. Yeah, have fun.
To play.
And then our parents would call us in for dinner, and that was it. And so my sister's husband was like, Laura, like, why don't you just start a road hockey tournament and see where it goes? Like, start a charity road hockey, and who knows? Anyways, we put it together in about 6-7 weeks, having no expectations. We're kind of just like, hey, let's see how many people we can get out. I'm going to ask all my friends, the hockey players I know, to see if they want to come out. And luckily, they all were like gung-ho about it, jumped in. And it turned into something so much bigger than I ever expected. And we started raising funds. We started, like last year, we raised $28,000. The year before, 20. So it's just like literally exponentially grown. And I'm kind of like, okay, now we're actually giving money to organizations. So we've given it to Kidsport now 2 years in a row. Because I think the reason we started it was obviously to have fun, get outside, enjoy your community. But it was also to hopefully get kids off their phone, get kids off their tablets and involved in sport. And sport's given me and my sister so much in our life. And so, again, if we could give 1 or 2 kids that same opportunity who can't afford it, that chance to just play, to get out, meet people, have fun, be athletic, I think it goes a really long way. And so now that's where the money's going towards, is those underprivileged kids who don't necessarily have the chance to play sports like we did when we were kids.
And I saw on the website last year the event was Bloor and Royal York.
Yeah, so it's actually like right out front of my parents' house. We closed the whole street down. We have food truck and all my friends come out to play. It's quite the big event nowadays. Yeah, so I'm excited to do it again. Hopefully next year. I'm trying to find a date still, but I look forward to every year. I think my parents are like, okay, how long is this going on for? Because it is a lot of work. But honestly, every time right after the event, even though it was kind of a lot of build-up, a lot of work, everybody takes a deep breath and is like, I want to do it again every single year. So,
I raise my hand if you need me this year. Because, you know, I've been living in Toronto for 3 years. And I was in this neighborhood in Etobicoke.
Okay, so next year you're going to be there?
For sure.
Nice.
You can count on me.
Okay.
Écoute vestiaire, présentée par La Cage. Ce qui se passe dans le vestiaire. We like to know what happened in the locker room, some story to tell. It's a time to share with us a good story about that could be with the girls, the team, however.
I don't know if I necessarily have a great story off the top of my head. I mean, the amount of things that happen in the locker room that are fun, I think it happens on a daily basis, to be honest. I think one memory of the locker room that kind of comes to my mind is we had a bubble PWHPA final in, I think it was in Calgary a little while back, and we ended up winning. It was like Team Bauer at the time, but a lot of it was the Montreal kind of group here. And when we won, I don't know if it was like we hadn't played a game in a really long time or something, but it was the most wild celebration I've ever been a part of in this like closed COVID bubble. Like champagne was everywhere, music, people were dancing. Like it was honestly probably one of the most wild celebrations I've ever been a part of for a bubble tournament win. So it was kind of like, I don't know, it's something that's kind of stuck with me, just even in terms of celebrating small things. I know it was a championship, but in the level of championships, it was pretty small. But I think just the amount of fun we had after that, because we had missed hockey so much, was something I won't forget.
Do the first celebration is the same? It's more important, or every celebration, every win is different and you...
I agree. I think every win is so unique, and I think like even coming back from the rivalry series, we were down 3, fourth game. Everybody's like, "Oh, you could lose tonight or you could win," and we won in a shootout. And I think even celebrating that win was so huge for us, because now it's like, okay, we have the momentum. Let's see what we can do going forward. But I think you're right. Like every single little win in your life, it hits you and it feels so good. Why don't you want more of that? So I think it is okay to celebrate all those little wins just as much as the big ones too.
So I hope for you and the Montreal team that you win this season, this first season for the PWHL. So Laura Stacey, merci beaucoup d'être venue te raconter un peu plus sur le balado Femme, qu'elle.
Merci beaucoup. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.